CPD officer shot and killed by her partner. Now, a wrongful death suit. Caught on camera, a woman run over by a truck, searching for Bird, one of the FBI's most wanted. Plus, shoulder sting. Cops go after drivers taking advantage. The Bears try to right the ship against the Browns. And Mike Kaplan shows us how to eat the weather. This is your Fox Chicago Week in Review.
This lawsuit reveals new details when we're talking about Rivera's death, right?
Absolutely. So they were talking about this on-again, off-again romantic relationship. So the lawyers for the Rivera family claims her partner, Carlos Baker, intentionally let her die on June 5th in Chatham by not rendering aid, not calling for backup, and running away after shooting her in the back. And this is all because Rivera ended their romantic relationship, and Baker was apparently having a hard time dealing with that. So we heard from lawyers at Romanucci and Bladen, who are representing the Rivera family in this wrongful death lawsuit against the Chicago Police Department and Baker. They claim Rivera requested a different partner multiple times because they say she was concerned for her safety. They described Baker's conduct on the force as reckless. They highlighted 11 complaints against him in less than 3 years on the force. In March of 2023, they claimed supervisors with CPD knew Rivera and Baker were romantically involved. By September of 2023, they said other officers became aware of their relationship. But then in February of this year, they said Rivera found out Baker was in a relationship with another woman and was living with her. They said in May of this year, Rivera ended the relationship with Baker and was planning on telling his new girlfriend about their relationship. Now, keep this in mind. They were still partners on the District 6 tactical team. Then on June 4th, one day before Baker shot Rivera, the lawyers say Baker showed up at her house unannounced. So the Rivera family claims in the lawsuit these incidents played a role in why Baker failed to render aid and let his partner die after he shot her.
She was in a tactical position behind him. And somehow he managed to shoot her on a 180-degree angle. In fact, his cover-up began after he shot her. Immediately, he claimed that shots were fired at police, when the only shot that was fired that night was from his gun in Crystal's direction.
We also heard from Rivera's mother, Yolanda, who said her daughter was planning on taking the detective exam and wanted to carry on a family tradition of being a Chicago police officer. Yolanda said her daughter knew the risks of the job and accepted it, but said this circumstance was much different.
That grief does not ease with time. It doesn't ease. It follows us every day. That betrayal cost Crystal's life. Crystal loved protecting the public. But I can say that CPD failed to protect Crystal.
So I reached out to Chicago Police earlier today for comment about these allegations. A spokesperson said they don't comment on pending litigation. Meanwhile, the Rivera family wants a jury trial and pointed out that one of the complaints against Baker included domestic violence from an ex-girlfriend back in December of 2023.
Top transit officials say the city and state are failing riders. They've essentially given the CTA an ultimatum: make these changes or say goodbye to key funding. The federal government is putting the CTA on notice when it comes to keeping riders safe.
The feeling and the emotion and the experience of having crime occur on our public transportation system is certainly detrimental to our city as a whole.
The special directive was issued in the form of a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker, warning that if safety enhancements aren't made swiftly, the government will hit the brakes on the money.
This is the federal government threatening state and local government with taking away federal funds for a purpose that they're not allowed to.
The ultimatum specifically points to the horrific attack on the Blue Line last month, where a Chicago man with a lengthy criminal history and 72 arrests set a 26-year-old woman on fire. Then just last week, another man was charged with attempted murder for pushing someone with intellectual disabilities onto the tracks.
The problem here is that the CTA is not safe. especially the red line and blue line. We've seen some horrific events in recent weeks.
While Governor Pritzker is pushing back, 42nd Ward Alderman Brendan Riley says he doesn't often agree with President Trump, but on this topic, he's on board.
I think the CTA should consider jettisoning their security contract. They should be using CPD officers on an overtime program and have them actually deployed onto trains from time to time. If a would-be criminal thinks there's a shot at running into a uniformed police officer on a train, they're going to think twice about committing that crime.
According to the FTA, assaults against riders have surged 150% in the last 5 years. Federal officials are now ordering the CTA to come up with an enhanced security plan by December 15th and implement it by the 19th. The CTA says it will respond by the government's deadline. In the meantime, we are waiting to hear specifics from the Chicago Police Department on their possible involvement in new safety measures.
A woman got hit by a car and she was ran over not once but twice while walking in the crosswalk.
And she had the right of way. This happened Friday morning in Avondale on Belmont and Pulaski. And
Brett Bugansky is live in the studio with the latest on this story. Brett?
Yeah, so this is also making its rounds on social media. Chicago police confirmed with us just a few hours ago that the 67-year-old woman went to Illinois Masonic Hospital. So they didn't talk about her condition. Now, this video is so difficult to watch. So we're only going to show you the moments before this woman got hit by a truck. So this happened just before 9:30 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Friday on Belmont and Pulaski. So in the video, you see a woman in the video crossing in the intersection going west on Belmont. So you see a red Ford pickup truck at the light. So while she's standing there, the light turns green, so does the walk signal, and that's when the man driving the truck comes into the intersection, hits her, runs over her twice, and you can see several people running over to help after it happened. Minutes later, an ambulance pulls up, and I spoke with Jimmy Paraskevas, who owns the Belfort Tavern, which is across the street from the crash. So he saw the aftermath and then went back to his surveillance video. What did you notice that was so unusual about the truck?
I noticed it, that the truck was pretty tall and it had full of snow on it, and maybe the person never saw the lady walking, and that's why he probably ran her over.
All right, let's go back to this video here. You see the height of the pickup truck, and you also see quite a bit of snow on the hood, the roof, and parts of the windshield. Just a reminder, Illinois state law says that you have to clear your windshield from any rain, snow, ice, or moisture from your windows, so there can't be any obstructions. And you can get a citation for $164 if you're found to be in violation. So we've been contacting with Chicago police all day to find out what citations, if any, were given to the 39-year-old male driver. They told us he got one citation, but they didn't give us any specifics. So Jimmy Paraskevas told me the driver stayed at the scene, and we're also trying to find out how the victim is doing right now. And there have been some on social media saying the woman has quite the road to recovery. I am still waiting to hear back from them.
FBI Chicago on the hunt for the so-called Bird, one of several fugitives on the division's most wanted list.
Dave Blackwell explains why they are offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
You can call him Bird or Little Bird, but his real name is Gary Llewellyn. He's wanted by FBI Chicago for his part in a violent carjacking spree that happened in early 2023.
I have almost 14 years experience working violent crimes, and this case really stood out to me. One, the brazenness, middle of the day, public areas, shopping centers, gas stations. The use of real firearms, the use of firearms with extended magazines, with switches that make them automatic weapons.
Special Agent Dustin Gorley is the acting supervisor for FBI Chicago's Violent Crime Fugitive Task Force.
These individuals would pull up and point firearms directly at their victims, make verbal threats to harm them, and point the firearm literally directly at these victims. So incredibly scary, incredibly violent.
Gorley says Llewellyn is one of 4 men charged with committing a string of 4 carjackings. 3 of them took place on Chicago's South Side, 1 in Dalton. While his co-defendants have been arrested, Llewellyn is still on the run.
He's charged with multiple counts of carjacking, multiple counts of violating the Hobbs Act, which is essentially the federal armed robbery statute, as well as brandishing a firearm during a felony offense.
Agents say Llewellyn is originally from the Calumet Park area and has family in Chicago and the south suburbs. Despite being on the run for the last 2 years, and with only a few tips to go on, they still believe he's in the Chicago area.
So now we're coming to the public and say, please help us. We could use your help. We need everyone's help. The goal of this is to take him into custody safely, and that's our priority for his safety and for our safety.
Investigators would like you to take a good look at Gary Llewellyn's photo again. He's described as a black male, 24 years old, about 6 feet tall, weighing around 160 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. And he is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call police.
Yeah, you can see people have started to gather here behind me with signs, chanting, protesting against those bike lanes. You can see the biking community is also here across the street. Counter-protesting this protest here. Residents tell me they feel completely ignored. They say the bike lanes are making everyday life harder, not safer. Tonight, community members are here rallying outside Alderwoman Julia Ramirez's office on Archer, demanding those concrete lanes that were installed a couple months ago be removed. Residents say the concrete barriers installed along Archer Avenue have cut the roadway down to 1 lane each. They say it's creating rush hour backups and raising fears that ambulances and fire trucks won't be able to get through. Residents also argue it's hurting small businesses, limiting already tight street parking and making it harder for customers to stop by. Claudia Zuno, a resident here, says they support bike safety, but this design just isn't working.
Remove it. You need to remove them. You made a mistake. This is not right for our community. Remove them. They need to go. This is going to cause long-term more headache, more cost to all of us, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not for this community. Bike lanes, convert boulevards into bike lanes. Boulevards are 8 lanes. Western Avenue has 8 lanes. Give 2 to the bikes. There's other ways you can do it.
And residents say they just want the city to work with the community on a safer and better plan. We have reached out to Alderwoman Ramirez's office for comment. We have not heard back.
Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins is taking another crack at this curfew idea. This latest proposal would give police the authority to declare curfews at any public space at any time of the day to curb teen group violence. And he says this is different than that quote-unquote snap curfew.
Hopkins' previous proposal would have given police 30 minutes to declare a curfew at any time or place. This time, he's proposing what he calls a, quote, time and place curfew that would give police 12 hours to declare a curfew and notify the public.
You would need at least 12 hours from the time a decision is made to impose a temporary time and place curfew to the start time that curfew would take effect.
Hopkins' last proposal drew opposition from groups like the ACLU and Mayor Johnson. He says he compromised in the hopes that the mayor might support this version.
In most of the recent cases, since we've been having this curfew conversation, we've had at least 12 hours of notice from the time that the teens were attempting to organize a teen takeover. So we really didn't need the 30-minute window.
The revised proposal comes in the wake of last month's deadly shooting during a teen takeover in the Loop, after thousands were downtown for the annual tree lighting ceremony. He says police had more than 12 hours notice via looking at social media. The takeover was likely. He says his ordinance might have prevented the violence, noting that police stepped in and enforced the current 10 p.m. curfew to some effect that night.
They started making announcements about 20 minutes before they started enforcing the curfew. Some of the teens heard the announcements and decided to leave, which is exactly what we want. The ones that didn't, we wound up making curfew apprehensions. We did 18 curfew apprehensions starting at 10 o'clock that night when the police were allowed to, and that had a quelling effect on the violence. It actually worked.
Now, this latest proposal was just unveiled today. The mayor's office did not have an immediate response, saying they want to review it first, but Mayor Johnson has been cool to curfew proposals in the past.
Coming up, driving on the shoulder, the cops are coming. The search continues for a man missing on the South Side and getting help with your property taxes.
We've all seen it.
Drive time stacking up out there.
40 minutes on the Eisenhower from Route 390.
Motorists snaking through traffic and treating the emergency lane like it's just another express lane. For years, they got away with it. No warning, no stop, no consequences.
Black GMC. Looks like one occupant in the front.
Until now. August 27th of 2025, the Cook County Sheriff's Office brought out the big gun.
$11 million for this, to be able to do patrols in Cook County, operations like this one. So it's a useful tool that they now have. They were borrowing helicopters between Chicago police, and at that time, they had 2 older helicopters in their fleet. And then they were also using Homeland Security's helicopter when it was available. So now the Cook County Sheriff's Department has their own.
It's technology like you've never seen.
You can see who's around, if people are running out of a house or hopping out of the car or whatever.
On board is a MX-10 camera with night vision so sharp it can see you scratching your chin in the dark. The man behind the camera, Tactical Flight Officer Jim Gosling.
We call it the hammer. This is basically how I control the camera, our main tool. You know, I could zoom in, I could zoom out, I could see, you know, I could switch to IR, infrared if I need to. Extremely helpful.
The Cook County Sheriff's Office has issued more than 700 citations well before the chopper was up in the air. June through December of this year, motorists were illegally caught using the shoulder. Enforcement has resulted in at least 35 arrests, 11 vehicles towed, 54 vehicle registration violations, and 43 driver's license violations.
Yeah, I sit on 290 myself sometimes, and it's frustrating. Traffic's hard. It is Chicago. And then you'll see somebody driving down the shoulder real fast. They end up cutting somebody else off, and it's a domino effect. There we go.
From the sky, Gosling and his pilot direct officers below. Make, model, color, plate, every shoulder rider is identified before they even know they're busted, making it easier and safer to stop any shoulder violator in their tracks.
They'll tell us along the way, like they're riding the shoulder, they're going in and out of traffic. They'll tell us actually what the infractions are, traffic violations are that they're committing.
Meet Lakeisha Palomino, an officer who has heard every excuse in the book.
When you pull these people over for doing this, what are they saying? Why are they doing it?
Oh, they're in a rush to get to work, or they're pregnant. They have to use the washroom.
The list goes on.
It goes on. It doesn't stop.
You're an officer for Cook County Sheriff. But as an everyday person, I'm sure you've seen somebody pass you on the shoulder.
And it burns me up.
Why?
Because just because they have what they feel is an emergency to get to work or whatnot doesn't mean that everyone else doesn't have some place to be as well. You need to be in traffic just like every other motorist.
It didn't take long for Palomino to catch one.
So you have tinted windows. Let your window down. I cannot see you. Are you going to let your windows down so that I can see and we can move forward with it? You have anything on you? Okay. Okay, that doesn't excuse the fact you need your driver's license and your insurance card.
But I wasn't doing anything. I just got it. I just have come on the expressway.
Coming onto the expressway,
Yes.
But you passed the point. You passed the point of merging. You were riding on the shoulder. You were driving on the shoulder, but you cannot because there's no space.
The driver finally fessed up to it that she wasn't following the rules of the road.
You have to wait until they allow you to get in. You can't ride the shoulder.
She was eventually cited, and the consequences really sting.
It starts at a $250 fine, 3 days community service. So you end up picking up trash on potentially the highway you were just riding the shoulder on. And it's a 4-month process.
Ro Khan, Chief of Strategy and Communications with the Sheriff's Department, says if you're caught again, it will cost you.
The second violation is $500. It can go up to $1,000, and it actually can go to multiple weeks of swap, which is cleaning up the roadways.
In less than 3 hours.
The reason I pulled you over is because you can't drive on the shoulder. My right tires were shaking, so I was scared. So I was trying to get her there.
The Sheriff's Office issued over 100 tickets for shoulder riding alone, and sometimes it's more than a citation.
So this traffic stop right here, this is a shoulder driver, pulled over, has suspended plates and a suspended license.
The SUV was loaded up on a tow truck.
You're gonna have to tow your car now.
Hooked, the driver required to face a judge, fix her insurance, and pay fines before she can ever get back on the road.
Any thoughts? Anything you want to say?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
driving on the shoulder isn't just rude, it's deadly. According to the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, 63% of fatal crashes involving roadside assistance providers between 2015 and 2021 occurred when a driver leaves the lane and hits the shoulder.
It's so dangerous when people are blowing by you at 60 miles an hour and you're stationary, you're going 5 miles an hour. I mean, that's a 55-mile-an-hour impact if you take it.
Some of these folks think they're so clever because they'll ride the shoulder, and if they see a police car up ahead, or for some other reason, but usually because they see a police car, they'll try to duck into traffic then, and they think they've cleared it. We already have all the video footage from up above, and so we just go into the traffic ourselves, get behind the person, put the lights on, pull them over.
Fox Chicago saw how it works in real time. And for drivers who think the shoulder is your shortcut,
and another one,
this operation is just taking off. Yeah, very interesting to be out there in the thick of it. Illinois State Police tell us the numbers collected barely captures the full picture. Driving on the shoulder could be a contributing factor for a crash, but a citation wasn't necessarily issued for one reason or another. But still in Cook County, ISP issued 50 citations in 2023, and in the past years, you can see the numbers right here in the year 2024, 50 citations were issued. For the year 2025, so far 60 have been issued.
Yeah, Dan is still nowhere to be found. Family is hoping he'll be found safe and sound soon. His daughter says family and friends have been searching practically around the clock. 59-year-old Daniel Davis was last seen on November 26 near Union Road in Blue Island. He's 5'8", around 170 pounds with gray hair. He was last seen wearing a black Harley Davidson jacket, a red-black sweatshirt, and a black pants. Davis is considered an endangered adult, which means time is critical. There have been several reported sightings, including security camera footage that shows a man believed to be him wandering through neighborhood yards and alleys. His daughter says Davis has never acted like this before, adding to their concern that he may be disoriented, injured, or in danger. Family says they've been canvassing neighborhoods, checking cameras, handing out flyers, hoping someone somewhere will recognize him.
We're holding out hope. We know that, if worst came to worst, we would know right away if, he was somewhere else or not with us anymore, God forbid. We're holding on hope that he is around here, because really the only explanation is that he's not in Blue Island anymore, or he is and somebody has been, taking care of him, or he's been taking shelter somewhere warm and taking care of himself. But yeah, we have a lot of questions as to why he wouldn't think to call home or try to get back here or tell anybody, or there's a lot of floating questions, but we're just trying to stay focused on finding him and then dealing with all that afterwards.
And with cold weather setting in, each hour is crucial. As of tonight, there are no scheduled or organized searches. Family, however, is just encouraging everyone to keep an eye out for him. If anyone out there has any information, you're asked to call Chicago Police right away.
But let's just face it, people don't have this kind of money, right, to pay for these taxes. They have really gone up. Terrence and Sylvia, like the city budget fight, this is a battle over tax breaks. The Cook County Board of Review's tax reductions for major downtown properties have pushed more of the tax burden onto the homeowners. As a result, some residents on the south and west sides have seen their property tax bills jump by more than 100%. That is a heck of a lot. The assessor's office has hosted 23 events across the county since property tax bills dropped last month. At these events, homeowners can sit down with the experts to review their bills line by line to ensure that you have applied for all available exemptions. Evaluation analysts are also on hand to double check your property tax characteristics. Cook County Assessor Fritz Kagi says the goal here is to help as many people as possible before next week's deadline, but he is also pushing for reform, calling for circuit breaker legislation.
Here's how it works. If your tax bill jumps by 25% or more from one year to the next, the state issues you a credit to bring it down, and you get it for several years. Other states already do this as a cornerstone of their property tax system to prevent longtime residents from being forced out of their homes.
While that discussion is up for lawmakers, homeowners are encouraged to come out to one of the final two property tax savings events. The first is tonight from 5:30 until 7 at the Garfield Park Conservatory. The last event will be tomorrow at Kennedy King College at 11. And once again, second installment property tax bills are due come Monday. Terrence?
Where have we heard this before? Congress, a little bit of Congress in action coming here to City Council. You know, it's never happened before in the city of Chicago, but City Council and the mayor have 3 weeks now to come to an agreement on a spending plan that has to close a $1.15 billion gap. And a group of alders met with the mayor's team over the weekend. They came out of that meeting no closer to a deal. The mayor today says it comes down to his vision with a corporate head tax and other taxes he says will primarily affect millionaires and billionaires versus 26 alders who have supported budget ideas that reject the corporate head tax, but they do include doubling of the garbage collection fee. And that is something Johnson says will hit working Chicagoans the hardest.
I don't believe anybody wants, a government shutdown. This would not be good for our city. And, the context in which we are working under right now is that working people every single day are struggling to make the ends meet. And so what I've said repeatedly, I'm always open to negotiate details and to find compromises along the way. But, doubling the garbage fee, collecting a grocery tax and some of the other regressive ideas that have been put forward, this budget, cannot reflect the sins of the past. So that's why, I've said I'm open to alternative forms of progressive revenue.
Part of those negotiations may include a change in the corporate head tax that would hit companies with 500 employees or fewer instead of 100 that are proposed right now. But the 26 alders say they don't want any corporate head tax. They say it's a jobs killer, and they say his entire budget relies too much on risky borrowing that could send the city's credit rating spiraling down into junk bond status. So these alders are seeking more cuts as well as higher liquor taxes and downtown congestion fees. After that meeting this weekend, Alderman Samantha Nugent wrote to her fellow council members, quote, "We cannot be a partner to a budget that will push Chicago over a financial cliff and wreak havoc on taxpayers of today and tomorrow. And as we approach the December 30th deadline to pass a budget that protects our economic future, we also cannot afford a Johnson-imposed shutdown, taken straight from a page out of the Trump playbook." So, as you heard, they have until December 30th to get this budget or spending plan passed, or else, much like the federal government, there probably would be vital city services that keep functioning in a shutdown, but plowing the snow, cleaning the streets, I don't know. That might be something that gets far.
Coming up, the Bears plan to put last week in the rear view. Tasting Chicago heads to a hometown pizzeria. And the Leopards and their spots at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
Well, in his opening press conference, Ben Johnson talked about playing winning football in the month of December, and that time is now for our Chicago Bears.
They're going to be taking on the Cleveland Browns. What are they, 3-10 this Sunday? But don't overlook them. Lou Canellis is here to tell us what the Bears need to do to handle Myles Garrett, Jador Sanders. I mean, this is a game they should win, but are you worried that they might be looking ahead to next Saturday's game?
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not, because of Ben Johnson and because of this coaching staff. There is no such thing, number one, as a trap game, especially when you have a coaching staff like the Bears are blessed with right now. So I'm not concerned about the Bears falling into a trap game. There's a shot at the coaching staff as we look at the video. Listen, they have to win every game from here on out, because 10 wins in the NFC will not get you into the playoffs. 11 wins may not get you into the playoffs.
You don't think 11
because the conference is so top heavy right now. And each team, and I'm talking about the 7 teams that would be going to the playoffs right now if the season ended today, the Bears being one of those 7 teams, they're all playing each other here at the end. So you cannot afford to have a letdown game. I won't call it a trap game. Bears know what's at stake. 3-win Cleveland team. Bears are going to run the football. Weather will be in their favor. I like the Bears big time on Sunday, but I'll give you a final score when we're done.
You brought up the weather. What impact do you think that'll have on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball?
Well, let's ask the weatherman here. It's a simple question. It's going to be one of the coldest games in the history of Soldier Field. Okay, cold's not a big deal. Wind is a big deal. So wind in that ball, will we see any?
Minor. It's not going to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's not going to take a Cairo Santos field goal and knock it 40 feet off. So
one of the coldest games ever at Soldier Field, 2013 Bears-Cowboys. And I think the Bears scored 42, 45 points in that game. Okay. So the cold isn't a big deal. If there is no wind, I think offense will still play well. But here, the Bears succeed when they run the football. And a bad Tennessee team that had won just one game ran for $183, 183 yards last week against this Cleveland defense and Myles Garrett. What do the Bears do best? They let their offensive line bully the defensive line of the opposition, just like they did in Philadelphia. Run the football 40 times if you have to in this game.
Well, I'm sure nobody will be mad if they run the ball that much. On the other side of the ball, though.
Because the people that are in the crowd want to get the heck out of there as fast as possible.
All right, Bear secondary kind of had a shortcoming, I guess you could say, against Green Bay. Gave up a lot of big plays there. Shador did have 3 touchdown passes last week.
Not worried.
What can we expect?
Against Tennessee, though.
Yeah, against Tennessee. He's a rookie. He started 3 games. Dennis Allen is one of the better defensive coordinators in football. You know, all week he has been scheming to confuse the rookie on Sunday, and I think the Bears will. Also, Brian, don't forget, you've got Jalen Johnson back there. He's still trying to get in game shape.
Are we going to see him play more?
Camp. I think absolutely you'll see him get more snaps. They go into this game knowing that Kyler Gordon probably isn't available. They've known all week whether Gordon is playing or not. What happened last week against Green Bay is he was expected to play, and he got injured. He injured his groin during pregame warmups.
Changes the
so
game
imagine,
plan.
he's been out there practicing all week, and now, oh, wow, he can't play. How are we going to fill the void?
What about number 15?
Number 15.
Rome Odunze.
Haven't heard. He was limited this week. I think he plays in this game.
Okay.
I want to see DJ Moore out there. Now, he may not play because, remember, you got the short week next week because you play on Saturday against the Packers.
Yeah.
So if he's not 100%, sit him so you've got him for Green Bay next Saturday. Please throw the football to DJ Moore. He makes too much darn money on this team. Seriously.
It feels like he only gets the ball on screens.
I get it. Fans out there, they're set with Luther Burden III and Colston Loveland Moore in the passing game, and obviously Rome Odunze. Hey, man, you can't move DJ Moore in that contract if he doesn't put up some numbers. He needs to rack up just under 300 receiving yards these last 4 games, or this will be his worst season as a pro.
Wow,
and you can't trade a guy who's coming off his worst season 8 years in the league.
All right, that's it. Who do you?
All right, I like the Bears
what's the final
24-10.
score? 24-10.
I like the Bears 24-10. I think the defense comes to play as a big game, and the ground game really leads this football team. It'll be a 2.5-hour football game, in my opinion.
Does Garrett get the sack record this weekend?
No way.
Okay. The O-line's going to hold him down.
Caleb Williams is not going to let Myles Garrett get the sack record. How many sacks did Micah Parsons have?
0.
Yeah. How many sacks did the Giants have? How many sacks did T.J. Watt have? I don't want to hear about Myles Garrett. Listen, best player on defense in football, but he's not getting the sack record at Soldier Field. Last time Cleveland won in Chicago, 1969.
What was this, Jim Brown?
Wrigley Field, and Gale Sayers ran for $126. Bears win.
From football to basketball and hockey, there's plenty of games this time of year that fans don't want to miss. And while there can only be one winner, sports management experts like Dr. Jonathan Jensen of Texas A&M University say a team's performance can have a wide range of impacts on fans, affecting their moods and even their purchasing decisions.
There's actually psychological theories and paradigms that have been developed over the past 50 years to actually explain the results of how fans behave.
For starters, when your favorite team wins,
you're more likely to take on the persona of that team and think of the success of that team as your own.
Dr. Jensen says a team's wins can even influence clothing choices and possibly get you to spend.
It's actually a psychological mechanism within your brain that's going to cause you to clothe yourself in the success of the team and then signal to other fans, hey, I'm one of you, I'm part of the in-group. And that will obviously have an economic impact because then the fans are more likely to buy more licensed apparel.
But when your team is losing,
You may actually be apt to distance yourself from the team, where you're actually protecting your ego and your self-esteem.
Meanwhile, teams going through rough seasons can still see strong merchandise sales.
The reason why you wear apparel then of that losing team is you're using it as a badge of honor, and you're showing other fans, hey, I'm a diehard, I stick with my team no matter what.
Ted Lindner, Fox 32, Chicago.
We're in Uptown at Michael's Pizzeria and Tavern. It's been here for more than 30 years. They're known for their chicken wings and their cult favorite pizza. As a matter of fact, they just received a review from Dave Portnoy's Barstool Sports. If you're a local, you know. If you're not, we're going to find out what makes it so special. And the person who's going to help us with that is one of the managers, Mario Espinoza. Hey, Mario, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, tell everybody, what is it about this place that people keep coming back for more?
It's the experience that you get at no bar in the city. It's a home away from home. The comfort, the friendliness of the staff, and the pizza. The pizza brings everybody back.
What don't I love? The pizza's fantastic, from the deep dish to the Chicago-style tavern pizza. The staff is also super friendly, and honestly, for like the value, the price point, it's kind of like a city oasis in a sense. You know, you're not going to pay an arm and a leg coming here. Always surprised. Sometimes I'm like, when I look at the bill, it's like, did you forget something?
40 TVs.
40 TVs. And what is it that makes a sports fan love this place so much?
The pizza, the beer, and the feel of fantasy football, that you can watch every game at any time. It's just football heaven for Sundays.
For Sundays, and you guys are probably packed.
Slam packed.
Okay, what do you suggest for people who've never been and want to get in on a Bears game day or something?
We let the doors open at about 10:30 in the morning, and by 11 o'clock, we are full. Yeah. I just did a video on social media about a speed run, about how long it took to get this place packed, and it was about 25 minutes.
25 minutes. It doesn't take long. As I said, though, besides the fact that the ambiance and the atmosphere is awesome, we're talking about the food. So let's go. You're going to show me what it's all about, right?
I will.
Mario, I'm so excited to try this. Do you eat this pizza every day?
Every day I can.
What's your favorite?
The Michael Special, I think, is the best combination of flavors.
Okay. Oh, and the wings.
And here we go. We got our delicious hot wings.
Okay, right here.
Buffalo-style hot wings. A pepperoni pizza, tavern style, and a sausage pizza, tavern style. The Michael's is definitely the most popular we have.
So what's on this?
Sausage, mushroom, green pepper, and onion. The combination of the sauce and the cheese just makes this perfect. Look at that.
That cracker crust holds up.
Right?
Wow. And I have to say, the sauce.
No flop.
No, the sauce is delicious.
A little sweet? You like that?
I like that. It has a little sweetness to it, but not too much.
No, just enough.
Yeah. Okay, I'm giving us plates now because I think we need to try these wings too. I love it. Let's talk about Barstool Sports.
Okay.
They came in.
Yes, they came in on a Sunday, winter Sunday. You know, they always call and they give a different name, so you're not prepared. He came in, he gave us a review. It was a funny little story that they did with one of the servers here. What is Barstool?
Barstool Sport is a digital media company that produces content focused on sport and pop culture.
That's really cool, man. Hey, who's Dave Portnoy?
Dave Scott Portnoy is an American internet celebrity.
No. Shh. Omar.
Oh, yeah. Dave Portnoy is my best friend. He's my pana.
He did the review outside. I believe he gave us a 7.6.
For Chicago, tavern style, this is as good as I've ever had. I'm gonna go all the way up to a 7.6, which is a very high score for me.
Finally, Mario, what do you want to tell people who've never been here before so that you can get them in here to try this themselves?
Oh, you're missing out. This is a special place, and it's, you know, if you're older, you remember Cheers. You know, and it's just a feel that you don't get at any other bar in the city. It's nostalgia, it's friendliness. The staff is great, the pizza's great, your pocket's not gonna hurt. It's the best sports bar, I think, in the city.
Well, cheers to that. Thank you for having us, Mario.
Thank you.
A pair of Amur leopard cubs are making their debut here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. I'm with President and CEO Dr. Mike. Tell us about these girls. They are so precious.
They're just absolutely adorable, aren't they? So 4 months old, just made their public debut. So we hold them inside until we can have a full series of vaccinations on board to make sure they're healthy and not going to pick up anything from the wildlife within the region. But so they're outside now and they're doing great.
Tell us how rare it is to have a set of sisters like this be born at a zoo.
Yeah, well, it's super important for this population. These are two really important animals, and to have a twins and have them both be female is just the best case scenario we could ask for. This is a subspecies of leopard that's one of the most endangered big cats in the whole world. Around 100 animals left in the wild in their natural range. Another 100 or so under human care. So every single animal is just so incredibly important, and to be able to have two young females that we know will grow up and go on to have cubs of their own is just a great thing for the population.
I understand they were just introduced to the public not that long ago. How did they react when they got to come outside?
So they're having a great time in the new outdoor habitat space. They're exploring, they're active, they're playful, they're just really fun to watch. Little cats are just absolutely magnificent when it comes to play.
They are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the species itself. Where are they found in the wild, and why are they endangered?
Yeah, so they're an Asian species of leopard, so similar to the leopards that you would find in Africa, but those ranges do extend all the way up into Asia. And with this particular one, it's in the Far East in Russia. Cold climate, so they're a cold climate leopard. So they're very happy on a day like this. They've got a thick, bushy, warm coat, but it's also that coat that is driving some of the loss of wildlife. So a lot of illegal hunting for collection of pelts, and then just loss of habitat, degradation, conflict with people within the community, livestock, those types of things. So just a lot of loss of space for them in the wild, and then just a lot of direct conflict.
When can people see them here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago? Are they going to be out throughout the winter months?
They are, yeah. So they do well in cold weather, so they'll be outside throughout most of the winter.
All right, come see them here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
Coming up, eating the weather, Mike Kaplan's discovery, using AI to buy holiday gifts, and Gabby perfects her golf swing.
Welcome back. It is time to combine two of my favorite things this morning, weather and food. You can teach your kids about weather concepts at home with some cool food-based experiments. We're going to get a demonstration this morning with Jason Fraser. He's meteorologist and chief fun officer for Drizzle Weather. Jason, great to have you here. Tell us, you have a thing called edible weather. There's even a booklet about it. What on earth is edible weather? Please don't say yellow snow.
It's not yellow snow. I promise you, Mike. It is not yellow snow at all. Okay. So up until last year, I was a TV meteorologist, so I did exactly what you did. And one of the things that I had to really figure out is what was next. What do I truly love doing? And I loved interacting with kids and the community. So one of the things I created was Drizzle Weather. Okay. We are a STEM education entertainment company where we inspire the next generation of students to think about pursuing careers in science. So we do these food-based experiments. Edible Weather is the food-based experiment. Okay. So we just wrote a book. It is on Amazon. It is on Barnes & Noble. And we have 25 of these different recipes. So on one side of the book, you might notice right there, you have the weather phenomena, and then you have
hail balls.
Hail balls.
Hail balls.
Hail balls. Okay, look, I can hear a kindergartner right now.
So yelling out, "There's so many hail balls."
We get to have hail balls. But you know, when you think about when you and I were growing up, right? We used to, our parents would give us a book, and then what would happen was we were told to read it.
Right.
This generation right now, they don't do that. You know what they do? They want to be inspired. They want to gamify whatever it is that we are reading about. So I'm all about gamifying science, and that's how I came up with Edible Weather. Why don't we do an experiment together?
Let's do it, man.
Because I want to feed you, Mike, because this is what we do. All right?
I love your thoughts here, Jason. How do we begin?
So we are going to be doing our cloud parfait experiment. Okay. This is where we talk about how clouds develop and why clouds change color. But first, we have to develop the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to take a graham cracker,
Can I show you my card?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And then what we are going to do is we are going to take the graham cracker, and for the sake of time, we're just going to crush
Crumble it up here?
Just crush it. There you
Okay.
go. The goal of this, again, is
We
to
have
make it
staff
look
to
like.
clean up
Oh,
this
okay.
mess here, yeah.
You guys are nice. I was just going to let the interns do it. Okay, all right. So by the end of this, it should look just like this. It should look like
Really
sand.
ground up,
Really
okay.
ground up. All right. So then after the kids do this, what I'll say is, where do the clouds usually begin? Well, they normally begin somewhere between about 1,000 to about 5,000 feet.
Okay.
So right now, what we need to do is we need to give you a cumulus cloud, and
Ooh,
we
a
will
cumulus
utilize some whipped cream. So there you go,
Okay.
right there. And then we'll talk to the kids about the fact that the clouds change color, and I'll ask them, what's your favorite cloud color? So Mike, what's your favorite cloud color?
I would go with maybe a sunset color. So give me, maybe something orangey. Have you got that?
Wonderful. So this is why we have the sprinkles. So what we are going to do is we're going to have our cumulus cloud change color. Let's open this up a little bit more.
There you go.
Let's give you a little bit more there. All right.
You can see that there.
And then I'll ask the kids, what about their favorite type of precipitation?
I'm going grapple.
Grapple. Of course he would say something that most of us here in the Midwest have no idea what it is, but usually they will say snow.
Let's go with snow. Let's go with snow, Jason.
Now, what I will ask you is, do you want flurries or do you want big snow?
Dude, go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
See, Mike, this
Load
is
it up.
why we are
Load it up,
friends. So, what I will do is I will give the kids some marshmallows. I'm going to give you lots of marshmallows.
Oh, this is a big snowstorm here.
These are
Ooh,
big snowstorms. Look at that. That is a blockbuster.
Man,
Schools, Chicago
blizzard
public
time.
schools are closed. Oh, my goodness. All right. And then after that, I'll have to give the kids some more clouds because where does the snow come from? It comes from clouds. And then what happens once you get up to about 20, 30,000 feet? What does the sky appear?
Blue sky.
Blue.
Is coming my
So
way.
what we have to do is we have to give you a little blue food dye right there. And boom, you mix it in.
Can I mix it here?
Yep. You can mix it
look
right
at
there at
that.
the top. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom.
And you got yourself cloud. It's a whole weather environment here, Jason.
Right there. So
and that only took a couple minutes. Kids would love that.
Yes. And so we can do this in schools, and you can also do this like on the weekends. If you're a mom, you want to do this with your kids, just grab the Edible Weather book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Jason Fraser, look him up, follow him, and check out the Edible Weather book, Drizzle Weather. Jason, thanks for coming here this morning.
All right, everyone, we're back right now at 9:31, and we're talking about some things going on for the holidays here. What we know is that trying to find age-appropriate gifts within your budget could be a challenge. As we count down to the holidays, though, experts are showing us more and more ways that AI can help shoppers, and Oliviana Calmes has more on how to help consumers with their holiday spending. Thank you so much for helping us all out. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Anita. Well, everyone's got that person that's hard to buy for in their Christmas list. The Secret Santa, the extended family, their friend. Well, I talked to one shopper who used AI to help them finish their Christmas shopping list, and experts tell me this trend is catching on. Shoppers' habits are always changing, and this holiday season, they're adding AI to the cart.
It can really cut down on all that research for you.
Clicks from AI recommendations to online stores jumped more than 13 times last holiday season. And a MasterCard survey says more than 4 in 10 shoppers now use AI when they buy gifts. One of them is Jace Pomales, who has lots of nieces and nephews to shop for.
For me, it kind of streamlined my process of trying to figure out what I should get, what's age appropriate, what's within my budget.
He says AI even suggested something he never would have come up with himself.
A small bike. And would I have thought about that? Not necessarily, because, I guess that's the age. And what the information that it gave me is that's the age where most people will start riding their bikes for the first time. And then I know it's going to be meaningful. When I think back to when I was 4 years old and I rode my first bike, I can still tell you exactly what it looked like.
Tech creators who teach people how to use AI say it could also track prices, find promo codes, and organize holiday plans if you're specific with your questions.
People are no longer just using AI to reply to an email. I think finally people are starting to comprehend that they can use AI as a tool, as your virtual assistant, right?
She warns, though, you still need to be careful what you type into any chat system.
You do have to be aware and really become cognizant of not inputting your personal information into any of these AI chatbots.
One tip, she says, using sites like ChatGPT, you can ask it to put all those ideas into one PDF or table to look at it all in one place, and it's easier to see that way. In St. Charles, Missouri, Oliviana Calmes, Fox 32, Chicago.
Oliviana, thank you so much, and I might have to add your coat onto my holiday list. It's cute.
Now, you don't typically think of golf on a cold winter's day, but here at 5 Iron Golf, you do. Right here in Block 37, it's on the second floor, right with all the shopping, everything you need. I'm with Imran. Okay, tell us about 5 Iron, what makes this so unique, and also you have other locations here in the city.
That's right. Welcome to 5 Iron Golf. We're one of 4 of Chicago's locations and one of over 30 5 Iron Golf locations across the country.
I'm going to switch you for the what is this?
The driver.
The driver, thank you. I knew that for the microphone. All right, Cole, you're an instructor here. Do you offer lessons for people if they want to come in and inquire?
Yeah, I offer lessons to people on a regular basis. I would say I teach around 80 to 100 people per month, and you know, a variety of swings. So.
I heard you're PGA certified.
Yes,
That's a
ma'am.
big deal, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm also TPI certified, which is it's a body motion training, just understanding body mechanics.
Okay, that means that you're going to know how to critique my swing. For people who first pick up the golf club, maybe after a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, what's usually the first mistake they make?
I would say just setting up to the golf ball, making sure that we have the proper setup and the proper grip. That way we could just make sure that we're hitting in the same spot every time.
Okay, Cole, a little rusty, okay?
That's okay.
I want to give you, have you give me pretty much a live review of how I do. Oh, I think I went the wrong way there.
That's okay.
But at least I made contact with the ball.
That was good contact, yes.
How was it?
It was good. I do think that we can still try to rotate a little bit more throughout the backswing,
Okay.
getting those hips and shoulders to kind of face like our tracking device here throughout the backswing, just to get a little bit more power.
All right, Cole, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to also golf during the colder months or any time of year, even the summertime, we have more information about 5 Iron Golf on our website, fox32chicago.com.
Fox Chicago Weekend Review. See you next week.